This is Coffee Number 5. I'm your host, Lara Schmoisman.
Hi, everyone. How are you today? And I'm laughing because this is going to be fun. We're going to start this podcast in a very unusual way. I'm not going to even try to say the last name of my guest, but I'm going to tell you this one is going to be trendy and you want to listen to this podcast. So, Bora, welcome. And you say your last name and you can try to say mine too if you want to.
Okay. My name is Bora Mutluoglu. That's my last name. That's how you say it. The G is supposed to be silent. It's a Turkish last name. There's supposed to be a squiggle on it, but we don't have it here. And then I'll try to say your last name, Lara Schmoisman, right?
Very good. Actually, very good. Well, you got some points there. So, but this is not a game podcast. So I'm very excited to have you here because TikTok is the big trending word. Everyone is talking about TikTok. Everyone is saying you have to be on TikTok Shop. You need to sell on TikTok Shop. And I want to put out there that selling TikTok Shop is not that easy as it shows.
Right.
So let's start with that. And let's start how you created a platform called Reacher that help you reach and connect with creators through TikTok. And you have a very strong connection with TikTok. So let's start from the beginning and why you got so interested in the idea of, were you a TikToker? You wanted to be working with TikTok? What was your story? How did you start this journey?
Yeah. So I guess I can do a brief intro of myself. Bora
Yes.
Mutluoglu. I'm the co-founder of Reacher, one of the top TikTok shop softwares for finding affiliates, working with them, managing them, and we use AI in all of our workflows. In terms of the story behind Reacher, so my co-founder and I, Jerry, we've been working on companies for like 4 or 5 years now, which is kind of crazy to say. The first 2 companies we worked on both failed. And then he was working at Meta at Instagram shop as an engineer, and I was working at Palta Networks as an engineer as well. But on the side, I was also a creator, like a micro influencer. I have over 10,000 followers across various different platforms, which is not that exciting for most people these days, but it's micro influencer, right? So I've been creating content on the side for a long time now. And then, sometime in late 2023, we had just failed our last startup. And it was actually early 2024 when we heard about TikTok Shop, and then we were looking for our next idea to work on. And we just kind of dove into TikTok Shop as the new platform. And it had a kind of intersection between Jerry's expertise and my expertise, right? Him from the brand side and building tech for the brands, and me from the creator side and just doing creator stuff. So we found TikTok Shop, and we believed in social commerce as we've seen the algorithms all shift. And then we just decided to try to build a solution for TikTok Shop. And that's how we ended up here today.
Okay. So what was the problem that you found?
Yeah, the problem was very, very simple, actually. In the early days, now it's a much more complicated problem, as you probably know, being a TikTok Shop operator yourself.
I know, but I really want to put the truth out here because there are a lot of myths about TikTok and that it's so easy to sell on TikTok. And my principle is that, first of all, something is so easy, it's not real. And second, it's that your product needs to be TikTokable. If it's not TikTokable, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah. So that I agree fully with everything you said. And in the early days, it actually was easy to sell because there was no competition or very little competition on the platform. And when I say early days, I mean the first few months of the platform actually being released, right? So the problem that the brands were facing was that they couldn't message creators fast enough to like sell their products, right? Because every creator was trying to work with every brand. There was like not that many videos, there were not that many brands and not that many creators. But the ones that were on the platform were just making tons of money because TikTok was really pushing and incentivizing all these e-commerce videos. They were subsidizing so customers could buy for free. They were subsidizing on the seller side so you could sell and make a ton of money. And then for creators, they're just paying out crazy commissions and crazy campaigns, right? So all across the board, TikTok was just spending money to get people to be on the platform. So then the problem was that these brands were manually messaging creators, and they couldn't message creators fast enough because there's thousands of creators, right? So very simply, the first thing we built was a Python script to spam and message creators on TikTok Shop. That was the first solution. And we kind of went from there.
But there is more than that because I use your platform, but also I understand how difficult it is to work with TikTok because also you have a limit. As a new brand in TikTok, you need to have sales to be able to reach out to creators.
Yeah. So that, like, as the platform matured, to your point, they made it much harder to sell for new brands specifically. Because you go onto the platform, early days there were no limits. Now you have 1,000 message limit. You have to sell a certain amount to be unlocked to message more creators. You can't even message creators above 25K followers right now unless you have, I think it was like 2,000 sales, dollars in sales per month, right? Um,
But at
yeah,
the same time, TikTok is not a platform to sell high ticket products.
yeah. High. So you're talking about high AOV, like expensive
Yeah,
over
yeah,
$100.
it's expensive items.
Yeah.
So
So it did
it's
start off
harder.
as
It's harder to get to those $1,000, $2,000.
right. I mean, there's solutions out there like Celico is one that comes
Yeah,
to mind. That do you know Celico?
I do know silica.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one that comes to mind where like you can kind of hack your way around these.
Yes, you can hack your way, but also you need to keep hacking your way to get to 2,000 a month. Otherwise, you never get there.
Right, right. Yeah. So it's not sustainable, is what you're saying, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the if we want to get into like the true strategies of what works on TikTok Shop for brands,
Yes, let's do that.
yeah, it's really a lot of manual work. Like I'm the co-founder of an automation company, so it's not in my best interest to say this, but the brands that use our software, they benefit after you've gone like 20K, 30K, 40K. They benefit a lot, right? You can still benefit as a cold start brand using a software like ours, but really like there's a lot of manual work that people aren't doing that I think you should be doing, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah, even with your platform, I found out that for younger brands that you're not having that volume of sales, that using your platform is very useful, but also you have to be a lot of manual work as well.
exactly, exactly. You have to do both, right? The problem that I see brands doing today that are new to the platform is they'll purchase a Reacher subscription or a subscription from a competitor and they'll just send out as many messages as possible, but then they won't do anything on the back end of that, right? Like
Yeah.
they'll just send out the messages and expect sales. But what you have to do is you do have to send out all those messages and reach out to all those creators. But then once you get the sample requests coming in, you have to manually go in and review them to make sure you're actually approving good samples, right? And then you have to manually go and make sure that you're like making these creators feel happy and building a relationship with them and then building a creator community. Like there's a lot of manual work after that initial message being sent and sample requests being approved.
Yeah. No, but not only that, it's about the relationship. I mean, having a tool is fantastic, but if you don't build a relationship with your content creators, you don't send them really what you need. You're not warm. You're trying to compete to work with content creators that they have a
Yeah.
good GMB with many other companies. So how are you going to stand up for yourself? You need to create those flows in the right way that you're communicating why you stand out and why those creators will make money out of you because they're
Yeah.
not doing it because they just like you.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes down to, especially initially, it comes down to the money that you can reasonably make with these creators and that the
Mhm.
creators can make from working with you. And then to your point, like after this initial money, like here's the money you can make. Then it's like, okay, I can make the same amount of money from all these brands. Why would I pick your brand, right?
Exactly.
And that comes to the relationship. So that's where I think a lot of brands are kind of failing. They're seeing these creators as like a money printing machine, but really they're just humans and they want to be, they want to be talked to and become friends with you and kind of feel like loved by the brand or the agency they're working with.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of agencies and brands kind of maybe not fail, but they don't do a good job of building that relationship and
Well,
maintaining.
for us, it's all about storytelling and how we connect not only with our audience but also with kindness toward their people in the other side. That they are
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
free, and you need to be kind to them. If you build those relationships, they're gonna create better content for you.
Yeah, exactly. They should want to create content for you, not because you're telling them to, but because like, oh, I love talking to Laura and like we talk about our day and things like that. And I want to actually work with her and I want her to succeed so I can succeed. I'm curious, like,
Exactly.
how are you approaching that problem from your agency standpoint and this like relationship building with creators?
Well, I first of all, in my agency, and probably people out there are a little tired of me telling this story. We have one rule that is to be kind between
Mhm.
us and with everyone from the outside. We are not tolerating things that they are not people that they are not kind or treating respectfully.
Right.
So I think that motto goes for everything. You need to be kind with your creators. You need to listen to your creators. It's the same that you need to listen to your audience. Reviews are telling you stories. So you need to take the time and listen to the reviews and say what people are not liking about your product. So we can address it. A problem is not real problems if you address what people are saying.
Yeah, yeah. Looking at the reviews, that's an interesting one. I haven't heard many people say that. Like, what? How do you look at reviews for products, and like, what do you do based off the back end of like a really bad review or a bad comment?
Well, first of all, I always think that bad reviews, you need to answer them. You need to answer every review if you can.
Mm,
And you need to offer to make it better. But also, I think that, for example, we had a situation with one client, a beauty product, that the founder loved the scent, but people found it a little strong, the scent.
mm,
So it's something we can address. We can put it in the brief. We can tell people to just mention it as a UCG. Hey, this smells like this. If
right.
something that can create problems, if you address it, it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and it shows them that like you put in the extra effort to actually listen to the review, not become angry back at them, but also
Yeah.
like make a change to make it better.
Okay, but we know haters are haters always, and you're always
Yeah,
going to have people that they complain and they
yeah.
don't like your product. But it's how you respond to the problem.
I see. So how do you and your team respond to like the haters that keep coming? Because everybody, to your point, everybody has haters. Everybody, no matter what you do, you will have haters. So like, if your motto, I like that motto of being kind and being nice to everybody. Well,
You
how like,
respond to everything. I say, "Well, I'm sorry that it didn't work out for you." Or if we first of all, I always talk to my brands about customer service. The
eh,
customer service, it's super important, and they
mm,
need to be addressing all these issues, and
mhm,
they need to be listening to the reviews because there are a lot of things that we can do from the marketing side, but also there's a lot of things that they can do it in product side. That
right.
even in the next batch that they do products, if there's something that they come up all the time, they can put it in the instructions or they can put it in the packaging. There are a lot of things that they can be addressed. The only problem is when you're not aware of the problems.
Yeah. How about with like creators? Because that's customer support from the people that are buying the product. What about like, one thing I see a lot from like a lot of brands and agencies is when they're building a creator community, there's going to be a lot of creators that come in that are not serious about working, like making good content, or they're just
Yeah.
like asking a lot of questions, but they're not in a nice way and they're being mean.
Yeah.
How do you like end up handling or those relationships with those kinds of creators?
You just tell them probably that it's not a good time for the partnership and that we're looking
Mm,
up in the future. And I think you need to give consistent feedback. Hey, we don't feel like you're the right voice for the brand, or that at this
mm,
stage your content doesn't match. Because
mm,
also, as creators, they're looking for jobs. You need to think that there is a
yeah.
person in the other side. This is a job
Right.
for them.
Right. So you're saying not to ignore them, but just let them down lightly, basically, like,
Yeah, exactly.
I see, I see.
It's like
I
a
think
date.
it's yeah, yeah, it didn't go well, I'm
Exactly.
not vibing with you. Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. How do you do that across, like, thousands of creators, though? Like,
Well,
reasonably?
I think that it's really important to have systems in your team. Like,
Mm,
even if you have, I mean, you have a team, and I'm sure that you're interviewing people for roles, right?
yeah.
And there are some people that are not a good fit, and you give them a rejection email. That probably is a template that you have, but it's a nice template. So you do the same with creators, and you allocate someone in your team that is doing their outreach to send how long it can take you just to send the same message. But you're being kind and respectful, and today might not be a good creator for you, but for the next brand, it could be a good fit. And they
Yeah.
will be grateful that you acknowledge them.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You never wanna burn a bridge. I think some
Never.
people some people will, like, let their emotions get the best of them, and they'll burn the bridge, and they'll say things they don't mean, or they'll, like, make themselves look very bad in certain actions they take. I think, like, I've learned in life, there's kind of no reason to burn a bridge. So I like your motto, actually. I might implement that for in our company too, like, be kind to everybody, there's no need
I
to.
love that. I really love that. Even let
Yeah.
me tell you one more thing that we do, but then we're gonna go back to creators. We do something that once a month is the Raising the Bar challenge.
Mm.
Because everyone always points fingers to people that they do things wrong. We point fingers to people that they do things right through the months. And then the team need to vote who raised the bar the most.
Oh, interesting. So it's kind of like in like Discord communities, they have like a hashtag wins channel. Is it like
Yes,
where to
exactly.
win? Oh, wow,
Yes.
I like that. And can people on your team, like, nominate anybody else, or is it
Yeah,
like
everyone needs to no, you cannot self-nominate you. You need to nominate someone else who did something extraordinary.
oh, wow. So it's like, what's that called? Employee of the month, but it's, like, nominated by each other, everybody?
Yes, and they point fingers for the right reasons.
I like that. That's really important, like, this positivity and this positive mindset. Like, one thing we learned during Y Combinator, which we just went through, It's
Yes.
like,
I want to ask you about that too.
sure, we could talk about that too. But one thing I learned was like, there's no room for pessimism in a company, especially a small company that's trying to start, right? Like, every company, there's a lot of difficulties that you go through, right? Like, there's times when customers are like pissed off. There's times when like someone messes up. There's times when,
Yeah.
you're not making money, things like that, right? And like, if you're always pessimistic, that energy is just going to cause you to fail.
Absolutely. You're setting yourself for failure from the beginning.
Exactly. So that's one thing that we've like, it's really hard. I'm sure also as a founder, it's like really hard to always be optimistic because it is up to us to be
It
optimistic.
is really hard. It's lonely up here. It's really lonely.
It is. It's especially, are you a solo founder or do you have a
Yeah,
co-founder?
I'm a solo founder.
So for you, it's especially lonely, probably. Like at least
Yeah,
I have like Jerry as my co-founder. So like when times get tough,
you can vent. Yeah.
we can rant. Yeah, we can vent. Exactly. So, but that's like really important. Like, really props to you for being able to maintain this like optimism and good mentality because
It's
it's
really
hard.
important. You can drown otherwise. You can really drown and you stop your growth.
Yeah.
But let's go talk about influencer because I see a lot of the small brands with big dreams and working with
Yes.
influencers and content creators that are already super big. What is the trend that you see with that? Working with super big creators. Is it worth it to go and pay them a nice chunk of money for them to sell the product?
I think it's for like if we're talking about a smaller brand whose goal is to like make money, I think these bigger influencers are good to partner with if you are going for brand awareness, which is why like a lot of the times big enterprise brands will partner with a, Kim Kardashian or something like that, right?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think we're always chasing the wrong metrics and people go for GMV or they go for ROAS. But at the end of what we want is lifetime value of a consumer. You want a consumer that will come back and come back.
Yeah. Yeah, you want high LTV. I mean, most of these brands that I talk to that are like on the smaller side or just getting started on TikTok Shop, they don't have the budget for like a 1 million follower influencer anyways, right? Or like a 50 million follower influencer. And like it doesn't matter. The follower count doesn't matter anymore on Instagram or TikTok because anybody can go viral for any reason. I mean, I recently went viral for a Waymo video that I posted and I have 500 followers on TikTok and I got 100,000 views on my video, right?
Yeah, but the followers are not there.
No, I don't have any followers. So how is that possible, right? It's because of the algorithm. Because the
Yeah,
algorithm shows people good content or what it thinks is good content. And if people interact with that content, then it shows it to more people, right? So you can technically have a creator with 1,000 followers reach way more people than a creator with like 1 million followers if the content is good.
absolutely. We had a few clients that we went seriously viral and our followers count didn't move at all.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't follow based off of that. They just look at the content and be like, oh, this is like fun. So
Absolutely.
that's
So
that's one metric.
I love that you started this podcast talking about your failures and that you had two companies that they failed before. And then I know I love that about you because it's really important. And I cannot even tell you, I lost count how many times I fail and I keep failing.
Mm,
And that's okay
me too.
because we learn from it,
Yeah. Yeah.
make us stronger. So how is to going from companies that they failed to a company that is doing great? And on top of that, you got into Y Combinator. And how was that experience? Because that's a
Mm.
very unique experience.
Yeah, yeah. So companies that failed, I mean, it's really hard each time, but I think each failure, I mean, it's very cliche to say, but each time we failed, we learned a lot, right? Like you learn about like equity splits, you learn about like how much to pay people, what to expect, have to have no expectations, like to handle your emotions, all that stuff. So
Mhm.
I think each time we failed, we learned about a lot of things about ourselves and about how to like start a company and kind of be a good human being. Like actually we applied to Y Combinator every single time. Every company we had, we applied and we didn't get in any times until this Reacher, right? So we
Mhm.
applied for our first company, which was like an over the phone AI, communication company. And they didn't let us in and they also gave us feedback and then we like pushed back on their feedback. We're like, no, you're wrong, which is very stupid of us to do because like it's Y Combinator. They know what they're talking about.
You were young. Let's excuse you.
Yeah, so exactly, right. It was the first time we had any company and we applied and we got rejected and we were like angry or butthurt or our egos were hurt, right? So
Uh-huh.
we responded. The second time we got rejected, we didn't say anything. We're like, okay, no problem. The third time, we didn't even want to get in actually. So we applied to Y Combinator and we applied to Andreessen Horowitz A16Z Speedrun, which is like a competitor to Y Combinator, like a similar program.
Mhm. Yeah.
We got into both. And also, like, we didn't plan anything. Like, we took the video to apply. The last 10 minutes or like last hour of the application window, we were in China with Jerry. We got to our hotel room and Jerry was like, hey, we need to take a video. I didn't even know about this. And I was like, okay. So we took a video and we just submitted it, like a random video, and then we got in. And then we
That
got,
shows you how authenticity it's important.
that's true. Yeah. Authenticity. It was very authentic. It was like,
I'm
hey,
sure.
it's like we
I
just got to,
want to watch that video.
yeah, maybe I'll post it on LinkedIn as like, this is the video that
I
got us
think
into
you
Y Combinator.
should. I think you should.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one. So that's what happened, right? And then we got into Y Combinator, and then we didn't even want it because we are at the time we already had a good amount of revenue. And like we weren't going to take it. The reason why we ended up taking it was because the COO of Shopify at the time, Kaz Nejatian, he called Jerry on the phone. And he's like the COO of Shopify, right? And we
Yeah.
have no idea how he got his number. He called Jerry and he's like, hey, I'm Kaz. I'm the COO of Shopify. He's like, you need to take Y Combinator. You need to do it. And we were like, this is crazy. Like, why is the COO of Shopify calling Jerry to tell us to take Y Combinator? So then we ended up taking it because of that reason.
Well, and I think that was smart. It was a smart move because a business only can grow if you can keep growing as a person.
Yeah. The reason why we didn't want to take it is because we thought we were like too good or whatever. And like our revenue was too high because a lot of companies that join My Combinator are pre-revenue, right? And we had a lot of revenue. But I think end of the day, like we have no regrets. Like it was a great program. It was very difficult to do it. And we know a lot of really smart people now and we're integrated into that community now because we did it. So it was
Yeah,
really,
exactly. And it's at the end of the day is how you know and in what environment you are connected to. And getting to know smart people is always smart.
no, that's a really good point. Like the older I get, the more I realize it's like who you know is a really big deal. And then your network is your net worth. That's the saying, right?
Totally. And totally. And the fact that I always say this, that you make those relationships. And if you send an email, they will answer because you're you. If there's other people that they don't know, they won't answer that email probably.
Yeah, you're right. It's 100%.
So the relationships, and you don't know, people move around and you don't know what is going to be next in your life. But talking about next in your life, what's next for Richard? Because I know you guys are keep evolving and evolving.
Yeah. Next for Reacher, there is a lot. I mean, we're going global. We're operational in all TikTok shop regions worldwide, except for Southeast Asia. We're not operational in like Philippines or Malaysia or anything like that. But everywhere else, there's TikTok shop. We are active. We are growing a lot in terms of the tech. We're focusing on AI.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is like everybody's tired of hearing the word AI, but we're in San Francisco. Everything around us is an AI billboard or an AI bubble, right?
I
So
know.
we are really focusing on like agentic workflows. We really think that in this now more than ever before is like the time that any company can scale a lot. Any human can scale themselves a lot with all these AI workflows and tools that exist. Like, have you heard of Claudebot or OpenClaw by any chance?
Of course, about this
Yeah.
crazy Swiss guy created. Of course.
Yeah. So that's an example. Like out of nowhere, this guy created this like AI agent that you can basically program to be your executive assistant that has access to all your data and can just do a million things for you, right? I didn't use it yet because I don't want to connect it to my personal information because I don't know.
Exactly. I'm in the same boat. But
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm very well. So then there's other things though, like Claude Cowork is an example of like
Mhm.
a more secure version of this to some extent. Like you can have Claude Cowork or like Claude Code do a bunch of these things for you. You can set up your own AI agents to like read all your emails and decide like remind you to follow up with people, things like that, right? So on that vein, we are trying to build those kinds of workflows into Reacher so that companies like yours and brands can scale without being worried about like finding the best talent.
This is my question. And this, I think that's as an agency and brands, this is the biggest issue that we face when we're working with creators is we are rich and then many times there is no response. And how do you think that we can resolve that issue?
So the reaching out and having no response issue, are you talking about the affiliate center specifically?
Affiliate Center, we try even many platforms, a lot of content creator platforms, and there are many times they're just ghosting.
Yeah. There's two things I could answer that with. One is like a technical standpoint where we're always working on improving like AI creator search and like AI personalization messages. Cause like
Mhm.
if you can personalize the message to the creators, there's a much higher chance that they will respond, whether it's email, affiliate center, text, all that stuff, right? Being able to reach out to them in these other venues like WhatsApp or text as well is something that we are continuously working on. Those methods like
I'm really excited about that. Really excited because I think that there is going to be a much better chance to people to open their message.
yeah, exactly. You have to reach the people where they're at. If people are always texting or always WhatsApping, then that's where they're
Mhm.
going to, right? The other thing I would say is actually related to the point you made earlier, which is your network, right? Who you know and who you will respond to. So like, if a creator doesn't know who you are or who I am, why would they respond to us? But if we already have a relationship with another creator who that creator knows or who that creator is friends with, if this creator sends a message to the other creator, they might respond to that creator, right? So through like who we know in the creator world,
Like
we
a
can get them.
LinkedIn inside Richer,
Yeah, basically, exactly.
a
Yeah,
LinkedIn for creators. I
you got our
love
next
it.
speaker. Yeah,
I love
so
it.
there's ways to get around it, and I think you just have to be creative, or you just have to like try a bunch of different things to figure out what works.
Okay. So, from your point of view, what's going on in the influencer slash affiliate slash content creators industry? Where are we going?
Where are we going?
Because a lot of people are saying that influencers are dead, that
Okay.
brands are not putting so much money in influencers right now, that everything needs to be through GMB and trying to get sales. Content creators still want a flat fee. So there is a pushback from both sides. So where do you think are we standing and where are we going?
I think the market is actively maturing. I think these like statements that are very on one side or the other side, I don't ever like really agree with any of those kinds of statements like the internet is dead or like content creators are dead. I think there is a space for all of them still. I just think that's changing. So yeah, content creators, because the reason why they're able to charge a fee is because there's a huge demand for good content creators. There's not enough good content creators out there. Like if you look at TikTok Shop platform, if you filter our database in Reacher, there's only like 7,000, 8,000 creators that are L3 plus, making over 25K GMV, right?
Yeah. Something is need to be said of what you just mentioned that content creator is a lot of work. Creating good content
Yeah.
is not easy. I mean, I think some people ask for crazy money. If someone wants to pay it, it's okay. But also, I think if you want to be a content creator, you need to put the work. You just cannot ask for products and then ghost the brands, or
No,
you need to put the work and deliver good content.
exactly. Exactly. Like the people that are serious about this, they will stand out and they will succeed, right? The people
Exactly.
that are doing exactly what you just said, where they're like, send me a product and they ghost and don't do anything, they're going to fall off and no one's going to work with them anymore.
Yeah.
So that's how the market is maturing.
But also, there is a responsibility from the content creator. You should ask questions, not just go and get the product and create content because maybe you're mispronouncing the name of the product.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Well, there are ways to do that. So this kind of goes against the whole affiliate commission only model.
Hmm.
If you're open to doing retainers with the creators, you can actually require them to follow guidelines. You can require them to like send the videos to you before they post it, right? Now, you'll have to find creators that are not going to charge a large amount for this, like maybe 20, $30 a video, but there are creators out there that will listen and will do
Yeah.
this because they still want brand deals, right? The other thing that is coming up more and more these days is AI content as well.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm seeing more of it and it's pretty good. So
Uh-huh.
well, how I feel about it is like if AI content is good enough and if it's better than a majority of affiliate content, that's another viable option for brands that's much cheaper than like paying retainers
Hmm.
that they can use to supplement their, their content strategy on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. I think at some point AI content will become good enough, if not better than a majority of affiliate content from humans,
Hmm.
then it is what it is. Like if the content is better,
Yeah.
then
I mean, you guys are going to have to step it up.
exactly. Like this is a free market, right? People can decide to use whatever they want. So if the affiliates start complaining that AI content is better than them, then they just need to become better than the AI content, right? So I think AIGC is becoming more relevant, and there needs to be a way for creators to utilize AIGC. Maybe it's like their own persona, because people I think will still want to follow people, but maybe like the content creator allows the AI to use their face and make content for them, like the Jake Paul crazy videos that we've been seeing.
I know. Well, Bora, thank you so much for being here with me today. I have one more question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
How do you drink your coffee?
How do I drink my coffee? Yeah, it's just Black coffee, straight black. That's all.
Not with a straw.
So, okay, the straw, the reason why I do a straw is because I drink like 5 cups of coffee a day, which is really bad.
Coffee number 5. Why do you
Okay,
think?
there we go. Yeah, that's why we're friends. So I drink like 5 cups of coffee a day, and my mom told me that if I don't drink with a straw, and also my fiance also told me this, if I don't drink with a straw, my teeth will become brown. So in order to preserve my
Well, I
teeth,
can tell you it didn't happen to me yet, so I think you're pretty safe.
okay, then maybe I'll remove the straw because it's all a little interesting.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for having me. That was a good question. I like that fun question at the end.
And to you guys, I will see you next week with more Coffee Number 5.
Find everything you need at laraschmoisman.com or in the episode notes right below. Don't forget to subscribe. It was so good to have you here today. See you next time. Catch you on the flip side. Ciao, ciao.